A new year brings a fresh start, but perhaps not on the job, with January the worst month for conflicts in the workplace. So how do we navigate them? Let's bring in HR expert Jonathon Woolfrey. Thanks for joining us, Jonathon. Why is January a difficult time for both employees and employers?
I think between November and December, people just put their heads down and say, I'm just going to get through this year before I take a breath and reset. And over that Christmas, New Year period, both managers and also workers sit down and go, okay, next year, I'm not going to tolerate this. I want to achieve this with my career. I don't want to put up with this anymore. And they come back to work with a great deal of enthusiasm. And sometimes there's a mismatch in expectations there between the employer and the employee and what they both want.
And conflict occurs. And workplace conflict, it costs Australia more than $10 billion a year. That's a lot of money. What are your do's and don'ts to handling them?
It sure does. What I find the most in conflict that I deal with is, first of all, it builds up over a long period of time. We see those big flare-ups and the arguments in the workplace and things. But what I find is more often than not, it's actually the gradual build-up before it explodes. So those do's are deal with it early and calmly before we let it get resentful and build up, particularly this time of the year. Be clear about those expectations and boundaries that we have. Focus on the behaviour and the impact, and be consistent with what we want to do and what we want. Don't be emotional about it all, just go straight to that point. That helps us set the right tone early in the year, and it's the best time to do it. What we don't want to see doing is ignore those issues because we're busy, we just put them to the side, they annoy us, but we let them build up. We want to start to articulate those in a calm way earlier, so don't ignore them and let them build up. Don't let just putting up with issues turn into resentment and a real bitterness towards our colleagues, our managers in the workplace as well. And probably the third don't that I would suggest to people is try and resolve it with a person to begin with. Don't run to HR, don't overly formalise it early. Try and nip it in the bud, deal with the person. Sometimes they don't realise that their behaviour or their actions is having that impact. And just a quiet conversation helps nips it in the bud before we let it explode.
And Jonathon, as we know, AI is infiltrating our lives. I mean, how will artificial intelligence play a part in the workplace this year, do you think?
I think the extraordinary part about AI this year will be how ordinary it is. We've already seen that it's embedded in Copilot and the way that we use it in the workplace for the most part. But I think what we'll see is, wow, we actually take this for granted now, but we'll see things like job ads, job descriptions, the way roles are designed and constructed really start to change now. It won't be so much about what's the new ChatGPT, Google LM, all those kind of things. It'll be, wow, my job's changing, HR's changed my job description, the new job ads call for a different kind of skill and things like that. Because we're getting used to it. We know it's inevitable in our workplace. It's now going to be how we process that and deal with it on a day-to-day basis.
And it's inevitable that we'll see many other trends in 2026 as well. Jonathon, really appreciate your insight this afternoon.
No worries. My pleasure, Monica.